Hey guys, I just came back from a solo camping trip. It was a week-long affair, and during that trip I intended on talking about various pieces of equipment that I was using, and I didn't get a chance because of the bad weather and bad lighting inside of my shelter. So what I decided to do was make sort of a hybrid, so I'll combine this footage with some of the stuff I got on site. As we all know, or you should know, one of the more important pieces of equipment that you'll carry with you out in the wilderness is, without a doubt, a good fixed blade knife. And my fixed blade knife of choice is the Becker BK7. Okay, I have very good things to say about this knife. Now that I've used it for a while, I feel that my opinion towards it is unbiased and fair. The Becker line used to be manufactured by Camillus. At that time, the blade was a 1/4 inch thick. Now, as in the knife I have right here, is the K-bar version. The difference between the Camillus and the Becker, the K-bar versions, which is what I have right here, is the thickness of the blade. As I said, the Camillus version was 1/4 inch. The K-bar version is 3/16. Now, in my previous video, I made a mistake. I said 5/16 when I meant 3/16, so I thought I'd clear that up. K-bar luckily picked up the slack and started making up these knives, which is great, because if that was not the case, I would not be holding one here today, probably. Because the Camillus knives are a sought after commodity and they're very difficult to get. I've used this knife while building my shelters, both for cutting through the logs, although my preferred method is to use a small, cost-effective handsaw for sawing through the logs, because I can get a very accurate cut with nice square ends, and it's also very, very fast. But the BK7 can take care of that task with no problem. If I happen to lose my saw or forget it at home, which I doubt, but you know, it can happen. If I had no use of my saw, I could very easily use the BK7 to get the job done. The BK7 is fairly heavy for some. Some may think that it's too heavy for them. For me, it's a good compromise for size and weight. I've used the BK7 extensively for processing firewood. It's the 7-inch blade allows me to split some rather large logs in the 5 to 5.5 inch range. Just give it a good whack to start it off. This, check that out. Knife is very sharp. No problem. Nice little blocks. No problem. This is a good knife. Very good knife. I've used this knife a lot for bushcrafting purposes. I build many pot hangers with it. The blade, even though it's 7 inches long, is very conducive to smaller tasks. Maybe not as much as a smaller blade, like a 4-inch blade that a lot of people like, 4 to 5 inches. But the capability of the 7-inch blade is very, very useful for the bigger logs, but also the smaller work. There's a thumb ramp right here. Okay, so when you stick your thumb on there, you have a lot of fine control on the blade for getting small tasks done, like making pot hangers. I've also used this exact knife for processing game, skinning game. You've seen it in some of my videos if you've watched them. It's very good for that. Even though the blade is big, it's still very usable in that aspect. It's also good for general cutting tasks, like cutting open packages or cutting paracord or string, lashings, whatever. It's very good for that. It's a very sharp knife. It retains a very good edge. The knife as is, I have not sharpened it since I've last used it, and I've been beating on this thing off camera. There was a very stubborn log. It was a softwood. It was a larger log, and it was very full of knots. And I beat on this knife so much, and it came through for me. No local retailers that carry this knife, so I did buy it off of the internet. At the same time, I bought the Kydex sheath, which is very, very good. It's a lot better than the sheet that comes with it. It locks into place, holds it securely. This stuff I expect to last forever. Okay, so I ordered the sheath at the same time as the knife over the internet. It goes against the commonly available theme that I like to adopt for all of my woods gear, but I feel that the fixed blade knife is a very, very critical part in my system, very useful, so I had to go to farther lengths to get it. When I got it at my doorstep, it cost me about $120 Canadian. That's with the knife and the sheath. That included the shipping. Of course, this was ordered from the United States, so when it crossed the border, I had to pay duties and taxes and all that stuff. You know, that's just part of cross-border shopping over the internet, I guess. So anyways, I highly recommend this knife. It's a great knife. If you don't mind a larger blade, this will do the job. I prefer this blade. It's large, but it's not the largest, and it's certainly not the smallest. It's a happy medium between a large blade and a small blade. So very, very useful. I highly recommend it. So this is Jack. I thought I'd share my experiences and my opinions on the most excellent Becker BK7 made by K-Bar. Thank you, K-Bar, if you're watching, for picking up the Becker line. I certainly appreciate this knife. It's a great product. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video.